Good morning, Vietnam and other Pacific related areas. Hello, folks, calls. Come on, Restream, do your thing. It is 11 o'clock AM UK time, which means it should be, if me and Dave have got our time zones right, it should be 7:30ish in Australia. Give or take half an hour, because Australia has a weird half-hour time zone. And you wonder why I get confused with time zones. Hello, folks, calls. How are you? Yes, we have to do clicky clicky. Yeah, so let's clicky clicky. Come on, refresh that. There we go. Chat's up, chat's working. I see you. It says we've got 30 odd people watching. Hello. Scary this time in the morning, isn't it? There's a big ball of fire in the sky. I had to shut the curtains, it was that bright. Mel is not used to sunlight. Mel was up till 3 AM yesterday doing the shout outs and catching up on all the Facebook comments and all that sort of stuff. Still got to do the terrainiacs group. Oh, it's a bad sign when at the start of the show I'm sighing. Now, as you can hear, my voice is taking a hammering, but I'm hoping that's going to be okay because I've got technically pretty much a full day and a half until my next live show tomorrow night, which is Thursday night UK time, 7:30 PM. Yes, so who do we hear? I see, right, first off, I see loads of people shouting, but I want to shout out, let me know if you're in Australia and whereabouts in Australia or in the Pacific region. Yeah, the reason being is actually 11 o'clock shows I can do, you know, because of the school timing and that sort of stuff. So moving forward, if there's enough of you who generally like live shows, we could probably end up doing another live show at 11 o'clock, for the Asian region. So, I see, hello from Virginia, 6 AM in Eastern USA. Hey, Rusted. Yeah, Mel needs coffee. Mel does need coffee. Mel's got coffee. Brad saying it's 8 PM where he is. B Moz is in South Wales. Daniel, howdy mate. Port Talbot, South Wales. It's 6 AM here in West Virginia. So, we've got a couple from the Pacific and everyone else is just staying up at ridiculous times to watch this stream. Yeah. Okay, 6 PM Western Australia. Okay. Australia is at 8 at night. So they're at different sides of the country. Daniel and Weatherpig. Albion, Australia. Hi Mel, I'm on Flinders Island, Bass Strait, Australia. Nice. I have no idea where that is, but now I need to go find it out. Flinders Island. Now these chill and chat shows that I am literally just chilling, chatting, yeah, seeing what happened. Flinders Island, where's that? Ooh, that looks pretty. Zoom out. Wow, you're south, aren't you, mate? New Zealand isn't below, what you call it? New Zealand isn't below Australia, surely. It is? Well, I never knew that. I always thought New Zealand was on top of Australia. I've never realised that. I always thought New Zealand was north of Australia. Oh, Mal, you bad, bad man. But it's actually east of Tasmania. Well, I've learned something new in the first 5 minutes. You stupid idiot. So why did I think it was north? Are all our maps in the UK? Don't anyone say flat earth. Don't. Right. 11 AM here in Luton. 6 AM in Burlington, Ontario. Neath the Badlands, 3 AM in California. 3 AM, dude. Yeah. We did rather well last night on last night's. The Europeans did bloody good, to be truthful. Yeah. By the time I went to bed at 3 AM, the Europeans had managed to get us through to halfway through the stretch goal. They gained us essentially half a day. And if we keep that pace up today, we'll have done a stretch goal in 2 days instead of the 3 days it was predicting. So we've gained a day, we're gaining pages. Yeah. Morning, Mel. Finished watching your stream at 11 p.m. Then I was still at 4 a.m. emptied out my herbs. Dude. Discworld? So Mel is bad at math and geography. No more giving Willow a hard time. In all fairness, I think I'm doing rather well at maths, considering, you know, I've been awake for like 18 to 20 hours every day for the past. Got to work this out now. 27 days. I think I'm doing rather well, to be perfectly honest. Semi-gloss here. 10 p.m. in New Zealand. Wow, you're right over it, mate. Hello, Craig. I think you're the furthest person away from me. The internet, bringing us together. Now, I am going to have to be nipping for regular brew breaks and stuff like that because my throat is going to be killing me. I could really do with some lozenges, but I don't have any. Or some mini eggs, but I don't have any of those. That's because you had a mascot helping you during last night's stream. Should have let Willow bunk off school. I don't think the local education authority would be quite pleased with me bunking my child off to help me sell my book. Although she's rather good at it. She's rather good at drawing. I didn't realise she'd come on that much. I mean, I'll be honest with you, you know, this whole Kickstarter thing and Adepticon, I haven't had much downtime with the kids. I mean, I've seen them and that sort of stuff, but, you know, normally I'll like hang for an afternoon with them, and it just hasn't happened over this course of this Kickstarter. Now, I know that's me being a bad dad, but that was explained to him, at the start, that Dad was going to have a very busy month. And then they've got the school holidays for 2 weeks, and Dad was relaxing, during those 2 weeks, planning, ready for running the book at the end of the school holidays. So I've got this downtime, but she has really bumped up her ability. Hey, Mel, I just right now pledged. Whole thing was a rough ride. Dude, I'm sorry it was a rough ride. He was back at number 3,620. You have a number. You are not just a name. All that army training. Nobody sleeps in the army. Yeah, it's true. I went full tactical. The way I see it is I've got 4 days left. You know, I'm just shy. Yeah, just shy. So, all I want to do is pick up the pace. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that's a squaddy thing. I mean, it's hitting me. There's no doubt about that. I mean, if someone was going to come along and tell me that they were going to run a Kickstarter and they were going to do it alongside, you know, living normal life, and it'll be fine. Oh, my sweet summer child. Oh, it's been a hell of a ride, guys. But 4 days to go. We can do this. Yeah. I've got a rest day on Saturday ready for the final show on Sunday. So just pottering around with my kids, catching up on admin and that sort of stuff. Right, we need one to catch up. Let's have a look. We've got about 50 watching across the platforms. I see 2 on Twitch. Hello, my Twitchers. 45 on the old YouTube. Yeah, and I see 6 of you over on Facebook. Hello, my Facebookers. You need to be a bit careful with that one, don't you? Disciples of Mal. Because look from APS said it's the Bible of terrain. Calm down. It's not a religious document. We will not be having religious wars over PVA. It'll be like Red Dwarf, won't it? Where half the cats thought that the hats were supposed to be red and half the cats thought they were supposed to be blue. It's a British comedy thing. And I am not in a fit state to try and explain that one because that is way too complicated. I did take a bunch of your videos with me when I was on the South Pole for work. That's awesome. So I challenge anyone to have watched Mel's videos from further away. Yeah, that's not fair, mate. You took them with you. Yeah, that's being cheeky. Yeah, because, I mean, the only way anyone's going to beat that is if we have someone who works for NASA and is on the International Space Station. Now, that would be a hell of a shout-out, in all honesty. Yeah. But, as I say... oh, pardon me. As I say, yeah, we're after the furthest live watcher. Surgery in 3 hours. Good luck on the tour. Good luck with you, Michael. Hope you're all right, buddy. Working at the entrance to Hollow Earth. Just inaccurate. Inaccurate. You see, I don't think. See, he took them with him. That's the thing. Should have watched live. Can you watch me live in the South Pole? And have you found the Nazi base with the flying saucers yet? No kidding, they were supposed to be green. Were they? See, that's the problem. You can understand how these religious wars start. Hey, Ben's chuffed he's on a live show. See? Live streaming. So out of interest, curious, you guys, would you like live shows this sort of time in the future? Because like I say, I don't normally stream this sort of time, but I would be in the studio and it would be doable. Listed wanted green hats. The ISS is only 400 kilometres away though. Is it geostationary, the ISS? No, it's not, is it? Because they watched the Earth go round. So technically, as the Earth went round, it would be further away. I mean, it may only be 400 kilometres up, but there's a cross as well, isn't there? Who's the tiger? Anyone here tuning in from Adamstown in Pitcairn Islands? See, I'm learning all these new places. My geography is getting brilliant. Right, I need to do some shout-outs. Yeah, because I've got a lot of shout-outs to do. We need to see where we are right now, because as I said, my Europeans did a sterling job. Yeah, getting us halfway through stretch goals. So, I'm passing it over to you lot this time. Yeah, we are on 3,621 backers. We are 5.5k from, from stretch. So, over to you guys. Now, the link is down below. Obviously, share it about, do all that. Go back to visit your old links, endorse it. You know, reactivate them. Reach out to traders that you're friendly with. We have had a stack of traders jump on board. Yeah, absolutely awesome. Also, remember, if you pledged at the start, remember there's add-ons. You can go up your pledge, pick an add-on in the backer kit. You know, we've got the colour reference chart, and we've got the PDF, which is 50 Shades of Basing, Mel style. I'll show you how to base it up. Yeah. They're one of the most remote locations on Earth. Mel, I only read up about the Pitcairn Islands yesterday. Right. Ben's saying it would be nice to submit questions to the Google Doc between shows though. After we've done the Kickstarter, mate, I'm going to look at that and look at a better way of getting questions for the live show and that sort of stuff. And we'll see what we can actually come up with. Because we do need to work on that a little, I reckon. Right, I need to do some shout-outs. Now, these are the new people to be added to the shout-out list. Yeah, okay, right. We've got Dark Sphere Gaming, yeah. They're in London. 3M Gaming Studios. They've got a Kickstarter at the minute. They've got some lovely lovely 3D printed hangers and bunkers and stuff like that. Bud Splash Markers. Tiny Plastic Spaceman, the Miniature Adventure Game, yeah, on Weebly.com, yeah, Terrainaholic, Dutch Miniature Wargaming, Horror Show Minis on Twitter, yeah, Bill Castello on Twitter, Sleeping Dragon Hobby Shop, Spiky Bits, on Tabletop, that's Beasts of War, isn't it? Yeah, Fiat, 212, Bolter and Chainsword, Wargaming Girl, Fine Scale Modeler, the people on Reddit, the Miniature Pages, Ocular Garrison, Miniature Wargaming, the movie, My Mate Joe. Yeah, Franticus, DBA Wargaming. No Dice, No Glory, FFG Forums, Lead Adventure Forums, Andrew Chesney, The Star. Yeah, all things tabletop, RPG, Wargame Soldiers and Strategy. And I think that's the lot to watch. That's the lot I've found so far to add on. Plus, a few from Adepticon, Anarchy Stencils, Printable Scenery, Mr. Justin, Mats by Mars, Imperial Terrain, and there were a few more as well. Yeah, Phalanx Consortium, I've got to add to them. Yeah, they did this. They do awesome laser cut stuff, and they've got this like massive sort of warehouse. You could play a game in it. Who's that? Lady in the Dress. I think we've got to watch Sylvia anyway. Historical miniatures, sculpture of heroes. There was Dark Sphere, not Dark Sphere, Spectre, and Black Site Studios as well, who need going on the list. Because they shouted us out. And what did I say? Black Site Studios. Tonight I've got to come down and I've basically got to tag all these into the watch. I'm giving a shout out for everyone in the industry who's sort of sharing. Yeah, so it's been like a bit of a massive job to catch up with absolutely everything, but we are on it. Right. Whoo. Woosa. So that's the shout outs. We'll do next live show. We'll do another shout out for absolutely everyone once I'm caught up. After that, we've got the live show on Sunday. We're having a party. So it's going to be starting a little bit earlier than the Sunday nighter. It's going to be starting at 7:30. No, 7 o'clock PM. Yeah, but that's 3 hours before the Kickstarter ends. And we're just going to stream into the Kickstarter end. Otis is saying, hey Mel, I'm Berserker backer. I increased my pledge to 150 to like to challenge anyone on the internet to become a Berserker backer today. You are not a Berserker backer, my friend. You are not. We worked this out yesterday, yeah? You are a combat backer, class 1. Yeah, in fact, if you're getting close to like a master backer. Yeah, you see in the British Army, yeah, the trades work on, yeah, NFQ, not fully qualified, class 3. Yeah, it can work with supervision. Class 2 can work without supervision. Class 1 can instruct. Yeah, and then master. Yeah, you sir, are a master backer. Yeah, add that to your CV. You are dual traded. You have a combat trade. People are up in their pledges for the add-ons. I do like that. If you don't know what the add-ons are, we've got 2 add-ons. One's a colour reference chart, because Dave didn't like the idea of me wanting people to be able to paint in the book. So when I've got colours in the book that you want to make sure that your colours match my colours, there's a reference chart, and you can just, it's wiped out, you know, it's a cardboard, white downable, you can paint your colours on there, and if they match the colours on there, then your effects will match mine in the book, because they're the same colour. That's the idea behind that. I think that's a $7 add-on. Yeah, all the add-ons are things that I think are useful, okay? I don't want add-ons for things that aren't useful with this project. If we're going to expand the project, they need to be useful, improve the hobby. So it's $7. All you have to do is jump onto your Kickstarter, go down, don't change your pledge level, just click manage your pledge and just add the $7 onto your pledge amount. So if you're pledging for the $45 for the book, just knock it up to $52. And then when we open the backer kit, yeah, which is like the shopping cart that opens up after the Kickstarter ends on Sunday, that's where you enter your details, like where we're shipping these things to, like your physical address. Yeah, and you also pick what of your pledges you want. You can also upgrade your pledge in the backer kit. So if you're not sure you're going to have the money on Sunday, you can throw $1 in right now. Yeah, be in the game, and then and then in the backer kit, up it and get the bits you want. The other add-on that we've got is the basing guide. Yeah, loads of people were asking about basing, so we come up with a PDF. I'm going to go through the basic theory of basing and that sort of stuff, and then take it through 50 styles, yeah, of different sort of bases you can do. I mean, there'll be a bit of repetition in there, you know, so we might have a couple of different Mars ones, a couple of different urban ones, because, you know, there's 50 completely different environments is a bit of a challenge, to be truthful, but it'll give me the opportunity to show you a whole load of different techniques. Rusty Beetle's up, Insane's in, Tanya's in, hello. Hey, 3:15 AM on Canada West Coast, and I'm still freaking working. At least I have something wargamery at the same time. Nice one, buddy. Glad we're helping, Bard. Morning, guys. Morning, Max. Dave's pledged. That's usually me for the live shows. Tanya is 3M here. I'm so happy this isn't Skype. Me at 3 is not great. You at 3. Look at me at 11. Right. Okay, so caught up with that lot, done those shout outs. Still got to do the shout out video later. The shout out watch club post. Oh. I see on Facebook David Boy is around. Jobs coming left, right and centre. Right. Yeah, so live chat is working. People are chatting. And everything's looking good. Right. Now, I am here to answer terrain questions, so we better just do, like, terrain question stuff. Come on, we've got to make what you call it. We've got to at least do 10 backers in this next hour, haven't we? We can do 10 backers in the next hour. That will legitimately get us to, what you call it, to a third of the way of the stretch goal to do today. And if we do that, we stay on track. Right, in the meantime, I'm not going to sit here watching this counter go up and down and that sort of stuff, because it upsets my dicky ticker. Yeah, so let's open the Google Doc. And that way, if any of you guys have got any questions for me, we can jump on those. Right, so clear off your last night's questions. Okay, the Google Doc's open. Links down below in the description. Yeah, if you've got a terrain related question, or you've got a Kickstarter related question, or if you've just got a general question, yeah, get it down below, get it into the Google Doc. You don't need to be logged in. Just go to the form, just type in your screen name, what platform you're on, and enter your question. And we'll start working through those as we go. So anything terrain, anything Kickstarter, and anything just general for the chat. While we do that, in the meantime, I'll have a sup of this. And very quickly, load up the chat so we can chat. I killed the chat last night. I clicked a link in OBS and it did not like it. And I couldn't get back to my chat. So I was chatless for about 5 minutes. Happy anniversary to you and Kez from the other day. Hope you romanced a big time at the end of the Kickstarter. Oh well. Ironically, yeah, it was my anniversary the other day. Was that yesterday or the day before? The day before. Yeah, 19 years married. Completely forgot. Completely. My battle plan was I'll sort it before I go to Adepticon. That was a mad week. Then it was like I'll sort it when I get back from Adepticon. That was a madder week. And then I completely missed it. Yeah. Do you know what she spent the evening doing? Learning Premiere and editing up the salute footage for me. On our anniversary night. He'll stay longer, live as long as he has questions, so ask away. Either that or before what you got it. Oh. Oh. DMG's asking, can I pay in kangaroo skins? If Kickstarter or Backer Kit will accept it, mate, you fill your boots. You'll have to ask your regional variant. Hi Mel, I was on It's My Railroad live stream with Steve. I mentioned you as my hero on his show because that was his topic. Nice one, Otis. Thank you. I don't really mix in the railroad circles, so I don't know who people are and what their shows are. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, actually, thank you for that. Just genuinely, just a quick thank you. Yeah. RC Gaming. I wonder what the conversion rate for that is. How many skins to a book? What a great way to spend the lunch break. Greetings from Sweden. Hey, Joanne. Some of us do. Right. Any questions? Oh, I've got 2 questions. Tanya? I'm going to keep them coming. We'll get a few in and then we'll take it from there. Greetings from Canberra. Hello, buddy. How are you doing? I imagine people are sort of like, oh, God, Mel's on now. He's here. We need some he's gone for a brew back in 2 minutes sort of graphic, don't we? RMC Gaming is following me. Hello, welcome on Twitch. Hi there, Mel from Baltimore. Hello, Steve. Tanya's saying Australian. I know you are an Australian duck. You're always awake in the middle of the night. Right. Okay, I've got 3 questions. I'll do the questions when they get to 5. Otis saying, I'd love to see 300 pages in your book. Oh, dude. Not 300. I don't think I could. 300 would break me. Would absolutely break me. RMC Gaming saying, I work 3rd shift, so half the streams I watch are Aussie. Kez works, I think Kez works 3rd shift. She works 2:10. No, that's 2nd shift, isn't it? So she like her TV viewing is pretty much late at night. You know, she just basically gets up about midday, goes to work, and then her evenings are like through the night, which has been pretty good. Because with this Kickstarter, that's been when I've been awake. Oh, I seriously need some lozenges or something, or some fruit pastels. Give me a second, get a fruit pastel. Oh. Do you have a medical box? You know, a box full of your tablets and all your creams and that sort of stuff. Once a medic, always a medic. The wife said, isn't it time you got rid of your Hartmans? Bit out of date. No, not cold. No, that'll make me drowsy. What are they? They're flu capsules. I'm not sure if I've got a bit of the flu coming on. You know what I mean? Or whether I'm just fatigued. Come on, Daddy needs his watchcode. Daddy needs some lozenges. I don't need Carvel. Or Brace Guard. And there's no lozenges. All I want is a locket. Not going to happen, is it? Yep, plastic tubs full of stuff. You should check the use by dates. I do check the use by dates, to be truthful, mate. But I had a bottle of Hartmann's rattling around in my first aid kit for ages. I had to get rid of a load of med kit. Because like I say, it just did get out of date. But once you're a medic, you're always a medic. No lozenges. Right, I'm going to throw this back in a sec. And it would appear that my children have nailed the fruit pastels. Now, that actually works. Yep, I think everyone has a medical box, never has the thing you need at the time. That's about right. Right, I'm seeing plenty of questions coming in. Have we gone up? Have we done? We've got one more backer. We need to step up this game. Get sharing, guys, and I'll get stuck into these questions. Right. So, first question from Tanya. When is more Dark Ages, Mel? Definitely coming. Yeah, I'm doing it for the book, and then we'll be carrying it on, probably after the book, and so, over summer. So it's definitely in the book, Dark Ages, so, you know, early medieval or early history, that sort of stuff. It's actually covered twice, technically. Gargle some scotch. I don't think I've got any in. Though, to be truthful, that would work a treat. But I can't. I've got to drive and pick up the kids. I can't knock a vodka back now. Drink pineapple juice if you have any. Don't think we've got any. Quillian's Budget Craft. Okay, weird time to see you being live. It's 4 AM my time. Weird time for me being live, but I'm here. Right, okay. Rusted Beetle is asking, will the terrain in the book be focused more on diorama style or wargaming style? For example, will you focus on tall grasses that look more realistic or shorter grasses that can be played on? The book starts off with core principles, then with the build sections. As we add more pages to each section, we also increase the realism. Now, we've essentially gone through standardized wargaming stuff. We've gone through nice wargaming stuff. And the last few sections are all the ultra realistic stuff. But it's the sort of stuff that, although it's ultra realistic, it's still functional for gaming. Yeah, so we smashed through start of yesterday. We'd hit the the hills stretch goal. So that's all about making really realistic hills that are still as functional as possible for gaming. So it's actually both, mate. You know, that's where I said it's advanced stuff, but done in a simple manner. But it's all about really nice terrain that you can actually use for your games and it's functional. So it is a bit of both, in all honesty. Yeah, obviously, I covered the most simplest stuff first, and then as we hit through these stretch goals, this is where we're adding realism. And we're essentially the last set of page updates for each of the sections. That's all the really realistic stuff. Lucas is saying, warm greetings from Germany. Hello, buddy. Martin the Warrior. Warm milk with honey works a treat on sore throats. Honey lemon tea, mate. Frederick saying he played yesterday. Thank you, buddy. You have to do it in the Hulk voice. I can't do it in the Hulk voice. If I try and low voice now, I'll break my throat. Right. 8 backers and half an hour to go. Come on, guys. Right, next question. Jack Thompson is asking, have you noticed a difference between pound shop hot glues and more expensive brands in your experience? Yeah. Do you have any experience in furniture features for 28mm? By furniture and features, I assume you're talking about making chairs, tables, that sort of stuff. I've done little bits, I do little bits of scatter, but quite often I just generally fall back to things like resin cast for that sort of stuff. So I can spend my time building the bigger stuff. With regards to the question about the difference between pound shop hot glues and more expensive ones, yeah, there's a difference. Generally, the stiffer the glue is and the clearer the glue stick is, the better it is as a glue. Yeah, you can get some of these really cheap, and they're pretty much opaque, white ones that are very flexible. And at times, they don't even glue, to be truthful. You know, unless you get them literally as they're hottest as possible. The moment they start cooling down, they don't work. Yeah, whereas if you go for the really hard and clear ones, yeah, they are a little bit more expensive, but it's damn good adhesion. And with hot glue, it's not something you want to be... For how much hot glue you use, yeah, it's not something you want to be saving pennies on, to be perfectly honest. Jacob saying, good evening from a second shifter. Good evening, dude. Buzzmoose up my pledge, added the colour reference card. Nice one, buddy. Right, okay. Have you, this one's from Just Inaccurate. Okay. Have you ever tried using plasterboard, drywall to build structures? No, mate, in all honesty. I find it gives them a really nice break for ruined buildings. Yeah, I can see that. Snap it off. Paper sides can be used to have collapsing paper. Yeah. Biggest problem that I ran into was stiffening it up without losing all the nice crumble to the top of the walls. I'd imagine a soaking of watered down PVA would soak into the plaster and firm that up without changing it, mate. Cheers for all the videos. Without you, I honestly say that I would never start building terrain for my games. No worries, buddy. Glad to have helped. Yeah, I've never used plasterboard for making buildings, but I can see the rubble effect. If you are losing it, I would imagine watered down PVA would soak into a broken plaster's edge quite well and firm it up. So there's definitely an option there. Andy's saying, hey Mel, it was great chatting with you at Adepticon. You too, buddy. Crazy. Adepticon was crazy. Whiskey and honey. Rusted, I cannot get drunk in the afternoon. I've got to go get my kids. Mel, if you mix drywall paste with some PVA, then put a fan on it, it'll crack while drying. Looks great for stucco walls. Yeah, yeah. That's a retraction thing. Morning coffee with Mel. Morning, matey. Right. So that were... Right. SA Fishers, I do a lot of 15mm sandbags. Would casting them in plaster work? Yes. You need to make a set of moulds. But if you're doing a lot of sandbags, coming up with a mould is a much better idea. Because you can just bulk make them. You know what I mean? And make them in little rows. Yeah, including like the jiggity ones and curved ones and that sort of stuff. Make a selection. Don't just make individual ones. Idea for the next convention filming. Buy a Segway. Oh, can you imagine Mel on a Segway? I like that idea. Segway. Mel is mobile. Tactical Mel. Are we taking tables out? Rusted's asking, if we bring our books to Adepticon, would you sign them next year? Oh, hell yeah. Anyone who brings a book to me at a convention will get it properly signed. I mean, they'll all have my signature in with the book plates anyway. But anyone who brings a book to me at a convention gets it signed. I suppose I'm going to have to take round a Sharpie or something, aren't I? So I've got, do you know what I mean? So I've got a pen all the time that's good for actually signing it. I noticed at Salute, Dave was nicking, what do you call it? Dave was nicking Beasts of War's gold Sharpie. Quintillion saying, no Segway Mel, we need you alive. But yeah, if you bring your book to a convention or anywhere that I'm at, I will happily sign it, guys. Happily. Right, Max is asking, what's the best kind of home remedy paint stripper for stripping paint off? I've seen people use brake fluid for 50-year-old Matchbox and Hot Wheels cars. Brake fluid does work, but it is so toxic to the environment, mate. I mean, it's nasty stuff. You shouldn't really use it. Two options I find: isopropyl alcohol, yeah, or Dettol. Dettol's an antibacterial. You know what I mean? That'd actually do my throat some good, wouldn't it? I think we've got some Dettol. But yeah, Dettol would certainly help, or certainly strip the paint off, and isopropyl alcohol will. Isopropyl alcohol is probably going to damage the plastic a lot quicker than the Dettol will, though. So my personal one is throw them in Dettol and then give them a good scrub with a toothbrush. Works a treat. Woohoo! We'll bring honey and alcohol. Do not let Rick from Mantic Show borrow your pen marker. He keeps stealing mine. Expressive Rick. Simple green works very well for stripping paint. Not seen that here in the UK. I'm not saying we can't get it, but I've not seen it in the shops. It used to be a good one. It used to be Fairy Power Spray as well, but they changed the recipe on that, and it doesn't work as good anymore. It has to be the brown Dettol, not the surface stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've got brown Dettol. Seen Dettol on eBay. On Amazon, quality is questionable. Well, Dettol's a brand. Surely it's the same product no matter what. Unless people are buying it and watering it down. Rusted's recommending aircraft brand paint stripper available at car part shops. Simple Green and an ultrasonic cleaner has never failed to strip off even the worst eBay models. Yeah. I very occasionally put my airbrush in Kerry's ultrasonic cleaner in a separate pot so it doesn't contaminate, you know, the cleaner or anything like that. And that works a treat. Just strips all the gunk out of it. Mrs. I can't even say that, is asking, have you started writing the book yet, or is it still in the planning stages? When do you plan to finish it? The book, I'd say, is between 25 and 30% written. Okay? Or everything, the skeleton is laid out, so I know what I want on every single page. Over, like, the past couple of months, I've been fleshing out the theory sections, but I can't flesh out the build sections until I get building, and that won't happen until the Kickstarter ends in about 2 weeks after, when the funds from the Kickstarter drop, and I can order all the materials. I can get the decent camera kit to get the decent photos, set up photography corner in the studio. So we are technically almost a third of the way there already. The build stages are going to run over May, June, July, with a bit of lead time into August. Yeah, assuming everything gets done by the end of July, then Dave's got to lay the book out, off to printers, and we're on target for fulfillment either end of the year. What we're saying to everyone is fulfillment in February. Yeah, the reason being that if I go into August to finish it, because we've got so many pages, then we are still 100% sure we can deliver by February. Between me and Dave, and between you guys, and no promises whatsoever, we'd really like it in your hands for Christmas. Yeah, but what we don't want to do is promise you'll have it in your hands for Christmas. Yeah, it was missed by a month and you being really upset. You know, like Santa Mel didn't bring you your Prezi. Yeah, so we're saying February for sure. Yeah, that's what we've put down as, you know, the project delivery date. Yeah, but internally we'd like it for Christmas. But don't hold us to that, guys. Right. These are working rather well. I'm slowly starting to like lose like the feeling of like barbed wire at the back of my throat. If only the children hadn't nailed them all. Right, okay, Just Inaccurate's asking another question. Hope that's okay. It certainly is. You ask your questions, keep me chatting. Yeah, and we keep pushing. Another question, hope that's okay. Have you ever made much use of magnets in your terrain builds? I found them super useful on occasions to hold roofs and things like that. Yeah, quite often with plastic kits, quite often with all sorts of bits I use magnets. I quite like them. I also use them as like to make tools, like grippers and holders to hold bits together. I mean, if you're gluing two pieces together and you want to make sure they stay together, just put a magnet either side of them. You know, and it'll just hold it while it glues and then take the magnets off afterwards. Really good. And like you say, you can integrate them into your terrain. I've done a lot of that as well. I tend to buy 3mm magnets. Yeah, you know the sort of magnets I'm talking about, the little round ones. Yeah, and I have a 3mm drill bit that's on a pin vise, so I can put them in. And then what I have is I have 2 long magnets that are connected with a bit of blue tack, with a bit of green stuff on either end, with a positive and a minus. So I know which one is for gripping which and putting which bits in which, so I don't get confused by the polarity and your terrain doesn't come together, which happens occasionally. Otis, I am not challenging everyone on the internet today to increase their pledge to $150 and become a master backer. Right. People have gotten half containers and quarter containers full on Amazon of Dettol. That's bizarre. Cat's pushing to get more questions in. I'm pushing to get more backers in. Come on, where am I? Oh, we've had another 2. Right, we are 4 in 44 minutes. 6 to go in 16 minutes. Ooh. I think we're not keeping up the pace with the Europeans here, guys. But we may get halfway to stretch. No, we're already halfway to stretch. 2/3 of the way to stretch goal. Now, if I remember correctly, which I probably don't. Yeah, we are looking at... yeah, we're looking at the grasses and the trees. So all the realistic armatures, all the realistic foliage effects. Because that's an update for realism for the trees. And we're looking at the realistic grasses and that sort of stuff for your seasons. Yeah, with this stretch goal. Oh, pardon me. It's the mucus, you know what I mean? David Morris just pledged for the book. Nice one. You are a star. Yeah, so we are pushing for realistic grasses and all the barking textures and all the really realistic foliage textures for our wargaming trees. I don't know if I'm fatigued or if I'm just watching. I've got a cold coming. I mean, it could be that I'm just, I'm worn down. But I've got 4 days to go. It's got 4 days to go. Oh, we've done another nice one, guys. That was our, that was our David Morris. Thank you, buddy. That must have been him. We are 4 backers from hitting, 2/3 of stretch goal in a day and a bit. That's really good, guys. That's really good. Basically, if we can do the stretch goal by the end of today, and if we can keep the same pace as we had yesterday, yeah, that means we've gained a day, because it's normally been taking us 3-4 days to do a stretch goal. We'll have done one in 2 days. And there's only one more page stretch goal after these ones that are revealed. There's the one at 5 and the one after that. So if we hit that one, we've got 2 to do in 3 days. We'll do if we keep the same pace, we'll definitely do 1, and if we can pick it up on the last day, we might get the final 1 in. That's crazy. Do you remember at the start of this campaign when I wasn't even sure that it was going to fund? That crazy live show. So much doubt. And now I'm sitting here and I'm like, what it's predicting is literally we're going to fall short of by 1 day. If we had 1 day more at the current rate, yeah, if we keep this current rate that we did yesterday, if we had 1 day more, we would make the full book. We can do this. Get those shares going and that sort of stuff. We can do this. Right, questions. I have more. Just shared a link to my hobby group, Mel. Fingers crossed. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Matthew. Mel, love the tutorials. What are your tips when it comes to colour palettes for other settings like deserts? Deserts, you want ochres, mate, generally. Burnt siennas as well. They work well. It's all in the book, to be perfectly honest. Rusty Beetle saying, don't get sick, Mel. I think I'm either, to be truthful, I think I'm either just worn down, I'm a little bit, open to a cough and a cold, or I've just talked that much this month. Do you know what I mean? And I've just been on my feet and moving that much this month that it's just caught up with me. Do you know what I mean? We have crazy terrainiacs. The Kickstarter is almost $250,000 in Australian. Do you know what? I'm going to be a bit cheeky now, and I'm sorry. Sorry, Mum. But, Mum, do you remember when I was a kid and you used to come into my bedroom and say, you'll never make a living playing toy soldiers? Did it? I did it. Oh, bit emotional. Oh, did it? I mean, yeah, if we don't get those last pages, I did it. We did it. Oh, make an old man very proud, you lot. Very proud. Did you add lozenges and the whatchamacallit bars to the Amazon wish list? It's like £2 a chocolate bar. I am not having you lot spend £2 a chocolate bar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to order a pallet, yeah, and have it globally shipped. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to get this done, but I am not buying whatchamacallit bars on Amazon. £2 a chocolate bar? Yeah, I'm going to laugh, man. Not an easy thing to achieve. Well done, Mel. Thank you, buddy, and thank you for helping make me achieve it.
Sorry.
It's alright, my love. Oh. Mel, is there a way to seal flock without alcohol? Yes, mate. Just pre-soak it with water and a flow aid, and then drop your watered down PVA into it. Alcohol just works as a flow aid. It lowers the surface tension of the water, so it flows better. You can buy flow aids from Winsor & Newton. That's what I use, and it's really good. The benefit is also, yeah, that the alcohol, you're not throwing alcohol and having alcohol fumes kicking up. It does take longer to dry, in all honesty, but it does work. Right, I need a fresh brew and I need to find some lozenges.
Okay, get a brew now. I don't have lozenges, I have honey and lemon.
Oh, honey and lemon would be wonderful, please. My dad is famous in my family for saying, no one is ever going to be using computers. They are such a waste of time. And that's it. Give him some slack. That's a daddy comment. Right. Got 5 more to go. And then we're definitely halfway there. Right, we've talked about magnets. I've got 18 questions, so I'm on 10 of 8. Otis saying, using cotton fibre as a base to cover the trees before put the flocks on, or do you recommend something else? There's a couple you can use, to be truthful. Cotton fibre is okay, or polyfibre. You've got coconut matting, that works really well. Wire wool works really well, but don't use that if you're near electric railroads and stuff like that, because it can catch fire. Yeah, I like rubberized, vulcanized horsehair. That's a good one for a substructure. They all work well. There's a few others, but my brain ain't functioning properly right now because... Oh. Gary's saying I use Vallejo Flow Improver. Yeah, Flow Improver will work. Can you get whatchamacallit bars in the UK? Yes, but they work out about $350 to a bar. And all the kids have nailed mine. Corbin has literally had all my... I came back with about a big box and I haven't touched them. Yeah, I gave one to a friend. Yeah, and all the rest have just disappeared.
Corbin's got one in his bedroom window.
Has he got one in his bedroom? So he's the whatchamacallit thief. Right. Next question from Jack Thompson. Sorry, I'm eating sweets. I've just got to lube the throat. Now, have you ever considered an old phone that you could share the number for in stream, so viewers could send photos via WhatsApp or something for you to comment on during the live streams? I think it would be awesome. I'm not sure about an old phone, to be truthful. Yeah, I think what we should do is come up with a hashtag that I can follow across social media. You know what I mean? And we'll track it that way. I've got a right itchy nose. It's because I've been blowing my nose and my skin's dry. I haven't put my moisturiser on yet. Yes, I've started wearing moisturiser. That was because of Chicago and the air over there and the air conditioning. That dried out my skin. Something chronic. Hey, Marcus. Yeah, Max, that is an expensive chocolate bar. Right, remember, any terrain questions or anything like that, hit them in the Google Doc down below. Get them in there so they're recorded properly and I can get to them. On top of that, links to the Kickstarter below as well. Oh, thank you, Doc. Oh. Buzzmove's asking, have you ever tried doing terrain that is set during night, using dark blues and purples that suggest that the setting is in daytime? I haven't done terrain like that. I've looked at the colours and that sort of stuff and I've seen some nice scenes, but I've never actually built terrain like that. Yeah, I think the best one with regards to colour themes I've seen was at Salute, and they did a monochrome one, so it looked like an old movie. They did it just in whites and blacks. Yeah, and so what do you call it? It was like a vampire, Victorian vampire game, and all the buildings and all the characters were painted basically monochrome, you know, so white to black, no other colours in it at all. Yeah, and it was just beautiful because it looked, you could go down and it looked like you were watching an old film. He said, hey Mal, first I ever been able to drop into. Welcome aboard, Money. This is the Asia show. I see our viewing figures are slowly going up as people are waking up and seeing that I'm live and that sort of stuff, so we'll keep sticking with it. I do plan to go on for at least another hour. Yeah, the most I can go on for is 3.5 hours. Yeah, the reason being is I've got to go get the kids from school today. Yeah, we've had another backer. We are 180 away from halfway, 2/3 of stretch. Nice.
I'll bring my hairdryer into the kitchen.
I'm just trying to nail this lozenge. I'm fighting back the pain. Right. Okay, done the night question. Otis is asking about some square and round hay bales from Hobby Lobby. Cost me $10. Is there any way to make those? Yes, there's a tutorial in the in the Let's Make playlist on how to do hay bales and haystacks and stuff like that. Basically, it's a substructure of foam coated with a stay tacky glue. Yeah, and then basically you chop up a coconut mat. Yeah, and sprinkle and fix that on so it glues up, and that's how you get your hay bale shapes. So yeah, it's doable. There's a video in the Let's Make, mate. Right. Honey and lemon. Let's see how this does.
It works for the kids.
Oh. 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 That's a bit better. Slowly.
Just keep sipping it, don't drink the whole lot.
Oh. We're slowly going to work through that one. How did your family react to being told you had 133 pledged to you? To be truthful, I haven't seen much of my family. Yeah, since the launch of the Kickstarter. They were kind of amazed that the book funded so quickly. Yeah, but I haven't really seen them. I mean, with regards to my family in the house, they're much in the same way as me.
Chuffed. Thank you.
Yeah. With regards to my family in the house, because they're seeing it go up and they're getting updates, you know, a couple of times a day. The kids are watching on Kickstarter. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think the grandness of it hasn't really hit them because you've seen it go up in little steps. It's a bit like when when you haven't seen your kids for a while and you come back and they're suddenly taller and you notice the difference. Catch you later, Buzzmoo. 1 PM in France. So yeah, they are delighted for me. And I'm delighted, you know, it's going to be a hell of a book. I'm going to be able to upgrade the studio kit. And a little bit of financial security for me and the family. I can't complain on that, can I? It's been a good run. And is there a shot of vodka in that honey and lemon? Right. Okay, Justin Ackett's got another question. Another one. I know the Fable Rounds map, you were thinking for a moment about learning how to 3D model for 3D printing. Did you go any further with this? No, I didn't, mate. Yeah, we were looking at it. It would have taken too long to sort of learn it, get it right and get it. So it would have interrupted the build. Yeah. I think I may look at it in the future, to be perfectly honest. But we'll have to see. Right. B-Mods is shouting all the Twitchers. Brendan Rowlands on Facebook has just made his pledge. Nice one, buddy. You will be 3626. And I see people are upping their pledges to include the add-ons. Thank you. So close. What, 3-4 backers away from 2/3 a stretch? It's a good position to be in. So no, didn't go any further with the 3D printing. He has called for 3D printing. Yeah, the lad's learning it. I'm thinking about doing... right, this one's from Ben Wooding. I'm thinking of doing a desert board. I want to make sure I have a variety of terrain for it. Always a good idea. Rocks, hills, adobe huts, cactus woods. How would you go about making cacti, preferably in bulk? I would probably make, what do you call it? Do you know what? I'd probably make a press mold. Yeah, make them out of green stuff or some model. Would you press mold? They could be a bit difficult, a bit bigger. You could make them out of putty on a wire armature. You see, with things like that, if you're doing them in bulk, sometimes it's easy to just get resin ones. Yeah, and invest your time in the larger terrain pieces. You know, it's like Dave at TM Terrain. He does all the brickwork and he sculpts all the brickwork on his buildings. But he buys laser cut windows because it's a lot quicker and it's a lot nicer than trying to make them. You know what I mean? And the time that he saves with not having to mess around with making the windows, he can lay into the larger features of the build. But I'm going to have to do a cacti tutorial at some point. Coffee with a lemon and a honey chaser. Right. So yeah, I'd probably buy them, mate, to be truthful. I mean, you can make them out of putty. But to do a lot... Right, Fisher's asking, can you explain how the book will approach various types of terrain and scale? 28mm techniques don't always work for 15mm or smaller. Yes, they do. Yeah, I use 28. I don't even consider techniques to be 28mm or 15mm techniques. They're just techniques. It just depends on the amount of quantity and how you apply it, mate. Yeah, dry brushing at 28mm is just the same as dry brushing at 15mm. It's just slightly different, applied different. Yeah, they do work. You just have to factor in the scales. There will be a section on scales, and a lot of it will be talking about materials and that sort of stuff, because that's the challenge. Yeah, when you drop scale, yeah, it's the materials you use to represent things that become the challenge. So that's addressed in the book. Yeah, it is pretty generally a 28mm scaled book for the tutorials, because I can't do tutorials in every different scale. And also, you're asking, will I address rice paddies? No. Yeah, it's not what I consider an essential terrain piece, you know. Jungle's too specific, yeah, for an essentials book. Yeah, maybe in book 2, I will. Book 2. But no, I want to be honest, yeah, we're not going to cover rice paddies. But rice paddies aren't hard. Rice paddies are just ponds with grass tufts stuck in them. That's all it is. You know? Mel, if you do cacti, a lot of people don't know that there's loads of different kinds. In my experience in America, a prickly pear is the most common. I think that's the cacti that people normally want. So normally think is dominant in Cali in New Mexico. Now, is that the fork prong one? The one with like 3 arms? Or various arms? I mean, it's the same with palm trees. There's something like 156 different species of palm trees. And they vary in their size and shape drastically. But they're all palm trees. Right, Jacob's asking, will the book have any exotic terrains like Tyranid Wasteland or Necromunda Highs or Death Guard Base? No. Yeah, like I say, it's terrain essentials. There is a sci-fi, gothic, ruin piece scheduled for the build. Okay, but I'm not deep delving into, like, you know, specific faction-related terrain. Yeah. That being said, there's a good chance that stuff will be covered in the basing PDF. So colours and the little things you can do will definitely be covered in the basing PDF, because that's going to cover a lot more genres, yeah, because they're bases. Yeah, but the book itself, like I say, I've only got 176 pages. You know, if I was to include factions for every sort of gaming as well, you'd have nothing useful in it. The prickly pear is like a bunch of discs. Prickly pear cactus. Ah, the flat ones. Flappy flappies. See, when I think of cactus, that's not the one I think of. I think of like the long that you see in the Western movies. Because to be truthful, that's the only time I've ever really seen cactuses. Big cactuses. In Western movies as a kid. Oh. Stretch, bicycle, stretch. Right. So yeah, the flat spiky ones. Yeah, I imagine the flat spiky ones. You could probably get some plastic plants. Clip off the leaves. Yeah, and do something with those. That would be doable. What's a good paint for MDF? GW just doesn't cut it. Don't use your GW paints on MDF, dude. Cost you a fortune. Spray primers are great. Army Painter does a great range. Once they're primed and sealed, you can pretty much go in with house paints and paint them up. It's important to seal the MDF first, though, because MDF tends to soak a lot of the moisture out of the paint, and it makes it really difficult to get a decent layer on. Yeah, that's one of those Hollywood things. I can barely walk without stepping into one. Right, I see more questions. So we've done Jacobs. Right, Sundance is asking, Mel, great work. Now my question. How possible is it that the postage will go down even more when all is said and done? Postage will continue to go down as we can get it down, mate. I believe Dave put up an update yesterday explaining that we've done massive improvements to, I think, the US, Canada and Europe. We've got those down quite considerably. Yeah. It hasn't been finalised yet, but it should be finalised in an update in the next couple of days. So postage is coming down. Yeah. How much further it'll come down, I don't know, to be truthful. I mean, the thing is with postage, with it being international, it's at the mercy of like exchange rates and, you know, politics at the time of postage. Now, we're looking at postage at the end of the year into February. Yeah, so we're sort of like hedging our bets and that sort of stuff. And we've got a fudge factor to the side in case, you know, we get bitten on the backside by some politics or a really naffy exchange rate in some area. But Dave is working hard to find fulfillment centres and you know, ways of actually bringing it down. So there is an update on the Kickstarter page, yeah, about that. Let me read it out. We've got 4 more pledges to go. Got 4 more pledges to go. Okay, updates, penultimate, content revealed, and shipping costs. Okay, shipping price update. We've talked with a number of fulfillment hubs, and it looks like we're going to be able to bring down the prices that will be collected in the Pledge Manager. We'll have a final announcement later this week, but we are looking at being able to have the following for the first book. So prices for shipping the first book. If you've ordered 2, then it'll be a little bit more and that sort of stuff. But all the advertised pricing was based on 1 book, if you know what I mean. Yeah. US, UK, EU, EU adjacent. Yeah, $12. Now I believe that's down from I think that's down from 25. So I think we've got that down $13 so far. Yeah. Now shipping to Canada is going to be $20. I think that's down. Down. I think that's down $15 because I think Dave, when he tried to ship his book from the US to Canada, it cost him $35 a book. He wasn't expecting that. It actually hit him pretty hard. Yeah, so that's why we're making sure we cost these properly. So Canada is $20 and Australia, New Zealand is $25. Now I think that's dropped down by $10. Yeah, so we are and Dave just says more details once we've been able to lock in the prices. So once we get a specific quote and that sort of stuff, yeah, we'll be able to say, yeah, this is the costings, and but above all, we started the campaign with, look, it's good. This is the top, yeah, postage you're going to have to pay for this book. Through the campaign, Dave's been really busy. He's pretty much halved most of them and taken a chunk off the others. Yeah, so nice one, Dave. Yeah, and we'll lock that in and finalise it before the campaign ends, hopefully. And of course, if we can find, a better way of doing it through the campaign, backer kit and all that sort of stuff, obviously we're going to do that. I see comments. Right. 18 of 22. How many we got watching? Let's have a look. It says for me, we've got what, 1 guy on Twitch. Hello. Yeah. 58 on YouTube and 6 on Facebook. My Facebookers are leading the non-YouTube charge. It's normally Twitchers. Liking it, Facebookers, liking it. Right, okay, got the chat. Let's go through, make sure I'm not missing anyone. You're thinking of Sangura cacti? The ones with 3 arms? Yeah, they're the cacti I'm thinking of. And Kat saying the postage rate is great. I had a shipping business for 29 years. The rate they got is terrific. Yeah. Politics, yeah. Not going into any specific policies, but let's be honest, it's not just the UK that's sort of a little bit crazy at the moment. The whole world's gone a little bit crazy, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, so but as always, we leave the politics aside. You know what I mean? We put that out the door. Yeah, so we just do the best we can with, what the world throws at us, which is pretty much what we're all doing round about now, isn't it? Yeah, Kat's saying, a reminder, this is now a hardback thick book, so these rates are great. Now, to give you an idea of what we're actually talking about shipping to, yeah. Oh, I have Dave's book. Now, mine's not going to have a slipcase because I want pages, not a fancy cover. Yeah, that's his postcard. There, this is what we're shipping. Yeah. 176 pages of terrain goodness. Well, it will be terrain goodness when it's my book. Yeah, but this is Dave's book, Armies and Legions and Hordes. Yeah, lovely quality paper. Still got that paper smell, you know what I mean? That's what we're aiming for. I think we're something like that close. Like those couple of last little pages to fill it out. The world is always a little bit crazy. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Right, coffee. It might seem expensive, but check out the price of a uni textbook and this is right on the money. Mate, when I was training to be a physio, medical textbooks. Jesus, wet. I mean, I was paying £100 a book at some places. Easy. And it was cheaper, yeah, because of the size and weight of them, to drive up to the city that the bookshop was in and buy them from the university bookshop than get them shipped. Otis, you'll have to check what you've pledged for, mate. Yeah, if you're checking if you've got a hardback, you'll have to look at what pledge level if you've pledged for the book. But don't worry, if there's any confusion, we can sort that out. Right. Still going, yeah. I need to close that down, don't need Facebook open at the minute. One quick check. Are we up? Are we up? No. Oh, we're behind the Europeans, guys. It's probably because it's so early in the morning. Right, let's do some more questions. I reckon if we keep ticking along, we'll give it at least another sort of 45 minutes, and we'll see where we are then. Yeah, I reckon by then we'll either be flying, yeah, and I'll just get carried away and keep going, or, yeah, my voice will have broken, and Mel will need to rest his voice before he starts doing, you know, all the jobs and that sort of stuff. That'll give Cole quite a wallop. Just like to clear for social services purposes, I'm not going to actually hit my child with a hardback book. Because, you know, legals. You have to insert that now whenever you make a joke about beating your child with a book. Nothing smells like freshly printed and hardcover books. I love the smell of bookshops. The actual physical smell of walking into a bookshop. An old bookshop. Right, I'm on 19 of 22. Was that my belly? I'm on 19 of 22 questions. Chris Brown. Have you thought of starting up a Discord service? Yes, I have. It's on the job list for after the, after the actual Kickstarter and that sort of stuff. It's one of the little jobs to have a look at. Hakalumi says hello to the train shoot and all our Asian and Australian friends from Finland. Hello, do. Old books should be candle scent. Is that right? Right, Marcus is asking, how do you do a factory ruins in 6mm, aka Stalingrad type buildings? What's the best material and method? Cheers. You're probably going to be wanting to work with expanded EPVC foam board, mate, and plasticard. At 6mm, that'll give you it'll give you quite nice thick walls, but it's still, you know, you can work it with a blade. Yeah, the plasticard is for adding little fascia details, you know, gutter runners and windowsills and stuff like that. It's a lot of work. A lot of work. There's no doubt about that. But it's doable. But yeah, I would go with EPVC, mate. 3mm or 2mm. Yeah, expanded EPVC foam board. You can get companies from like Palite and Foamex. I still want a spiral bound book to lay flat while working. After the Kickstarter and everything's run, I'm sure we can reach out to print on demand, and you know, if you want one like that, you can just order direct, mate. So we'll sort that after the Kickstarter, but it won't be part of this campaign. Or we'll sort it if we can sort it, you know what I mean? Can't get dragged off the path too much by wanting this, wanting that. Right, the Noble Peasant is asking, Mel, any ideas material-wise for hilly pieces of jungle with interchangeable parts? Swapping out a crater for a tree for a crater or an MG nest? Yeah, it's all doable, mate. All you got to do is build your jungle terrain to incorporate like something like 60mm square bases or 60mm round bases and have slots for them that you can drop in, drop out. It's relatively easy. It's just part of the planning stage. Oz! Sounds like we've got guests. Oz! Leave it. Go lie down. Oz? Ozzy! Come here. He's being protected. Oz, come here. If there's a knock at the door, like the postman or anything like that, he gets a bit protected. Oz! Ozzy! Here. Come on. Up. Hello. Yes, yes. Hello, Oz dog. Look, it's YouTube. Hello. He's still guarding that door. Hey, Gary. Are you going to the wargaming show? I don't know which wargaming show you're on about. I've been to a few. I've done something like 62 miles of convention floor this month. Wow, your dog is setting mine off, Mel. Sorry about that, bud. That's getting one of my dogs going on the speakers. Oz, you've got an international following, mate. You've got fans. They're barking with you. Right. So yeah, going back to Noble Peasant's idea of the jungle. Yes, you can make it. All you've got to do is when you make your jungle piece, yeah, your hill, decide where your scatter pieces are going to drop in, drop out. Then make sure that you tie the edges of the scatter pieces with phlox and foliage, yeah, to match the jungle hill. So they just blend in. But yeah, easily doable, man. Are you planning on going to UK Games Expo this year, Mel? Probably not. Last time I went to what you call it, just wasn't many tables. I think there was like 3 or 4. I mean, UK Games Expo is a board gaming convention, you know, and as a terrain guy, there's nothing there for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, we like board games, but, you know, I would rather invest my time going to other shows. Secondly, UK Gaming Expo, it's a hell of a packed event. You know, you struggle and you queue everywhere. Now, if that was something that packed full of terrain, I'd be up for it. You know, but it isn't, so. You need to have Ozzy write the foreword in the book. I haven't even thought about the foreword. I hope that's one of Dave's pages, because mine are taken. It's fun to be watching you at work. Makes an interesting change. Glad it does, buddy. Poor print on the book plate. Ozzy is not signing the book plate. Could you hold up your 5 fingers for a sec? Not a chance in hell. Someone is planning something. No. Right, let's move on. 22 or 23. Just inaccurate again. Well, last one, promise. He keeps promising that. Yeah, I know a lot of terrain builders like to use sculptor mold or similar. Have you made much use of it? I have more or less fully transitioned it to using filler for most situations. I find it much easier to use. I haven't said it's essentially a padded out terrain gloop. It's not something I use a lot, to be truthful, because I like to carve my foam. You know, I'm a lot more controlling over the shape of things. Yeah, but it's a really good quick technique. I've used it in the past. There's videos on it going back bloody what? I think I did the videos one of my probably one about 10th or 15th video I did. So there's a really bad video somewhere on the channel about it. You know, the quality is knackered, but it is a technique that's been around donkey's years. I mean, for my particular paste, I like using Crystal in it because that's got a 15-minute dry time. Yeah, I also prefer padding it out with wood shavings rather than paper. I just find it pads it out a bit better. And paper, you end up mixing and trying to stir, with the Crystal being a really quick cure for plaster. Yeah, you just don't have the time to be messing around with shredded paper and that sort of stuff. So, you know, I use wood shavings. Yeah, it works rather well. Darren likes the drop in terrain. That's the way to do it, mate, for your modularity. Glenn Sanford's asking, have you seen the Hex Terrain Toolkit by Ross Kearns? Thoughts? That's the. I'm assuming that's the the MDF laser cutting guide, the MDF hot wire cutting guides. It looks smart, you know, but it looks fiddly as hell to actually go through all that sort of effort. So it's one of those things that, yeah, if you really want to go down that route for like that sort of hex one, then it's a tool. But I wouldn't personally, you know what I mean. But I can see where it'd go. And from all I've seen, you know, it looks like a lot of work to set up. So, I mean, it's going to be one of those things that you go down that route if you're really going down that route. Oh. Right, Otis is asking if there's going to be tool lists and material lists in the book. Yeah, there's big sections on those, mate. So I cover all the essential tools and what to look at and what to get and all the essential materials. So yeah, that's covered. Don't worry about that. And that is the last of my questions to this point. You've done Burma. Any plans on doing Vietnam War terrain table? They're kind of interchangeable, to be truthful. You know, it's jungle terrain, so you can swap them out. Yeah, so although I'm still doing Burma, yeah, that's certainly on the cards. There's no reason why I couldn't swap that out. Oh. Right, let's check the Kickstarter backers. Had another one. Oh, we're $100 away from 2/3 a stretch. Slowly but surely, we keep creeping, we keep creeping, we keep getting there. I suppose we've got to wait for people to wake up as well, haven't we? I'm looking at graphs. I've never looked at so many graphs since before today. So we've done 40 so far today. $1,500. Okay. We can do this. We can do this. I think we've just had another one. I'm not sure. No, we haven't. Right. Anyone got any other questions on anything? No one's asking questions. I get a whole case of phone call from Jonas's because the corner had a bit of water damage, so we're throwing it out. Just cut 2 inches off, and the rest is great, free. I go to like B&Q and places like that and look for their damaged bags because you can buy like a bag of like gravel, of concrete ballast for like £1, like a 25 kilo bag, and just sieve it into your various grades. And Kat Swift, she's retired, but she's got a job specifically at a hobby store so she can get discards and broken stuff. That's dedication. Leave politics outside, buddy. Are we 2 goals or 3 goals from 176 pages? Technically, we're 2 and 1/3. Yeah, we've got 2 stretch goals to hit after we hit the one we're currently 2/3 of the way through. So we should hit that goal tonight. Fingers crossed if we can keep up the momentum. And then, after that, we've got 2 stretch goals to go. Yeah, and I figure we'll have 3 days to do it. So if we can keep that momentum, we'll get through one of them, and we'll get halfway through the final one, unless we can pick it up. Right, Rusted, I keep... with regards to the spiral bound, yeah, it's not being spiral bound. Maybe in the future, but there's no plans to do it, mate. So just keep an eye in the future. If we can find a service where you can print on demand and you can order it, there will probably be a price for that. You know, but like I say, spiral bound, we're making a hardback, proper bound book, not a spiral bound one, mate. And I don't want to lead anyone on thinking that, you know, a spiral bound one is coming in some point. Yeah, right now we haven't even looked at it. Yeah, because it's not on our radar. And the thing is, spiral bound, it really messes up with the print runs because it's a completely different type of binding. Okay, and so it's a completely different type of printing as well, to be perfectly honest, and how they do it and that sort of stuff. So we're not even looking at it. We're staying on focus and doing a hardback book, you know, which is what we came for. Any plans to visit Coleraine? No doubt I'll be back there at some point. What type of terrain do you find the most challenging to make? Probably urban terrain, to be truthful. There's a lot of freedom in nature. You know what I mean? There's a lot of give, take. You can have it in certain ways. Urban terrain, you don't get it right, everyone knows you've not got it right. Mel, will you sell the PDF of the book on Drive-Thru RPG? Seems like a place it would sell. I don't know, mate, to be truthful. I've not even looked at PDF sales at the moment. Yeah, it's something we'll pick up after the Kickstarter. But no doubt we'll put it out in various different places. Who is Tiger is asking, why would anyone prefer spiral binding? It just means that you can lay it out flat on a workbench. Yeah, so you can lay completely flat. Yeah, so much like that. So, and when you watch it, yeah. Now the problem is that whereas a hardback book is with a normal bind. It's actually made of, if you look right in the corner, and you'll know this, it looks like it's made out of lots of little booklets. Smaller booklets all glued together, and that's because it is. They're called sheaths. Yeah, and a sheath is essentially 16 pages. Yeah, no, that's why our stretch goals are 8 pages, because all you can pretty much print in a sheath or a half a sheath. So you can have like, say, 10, 16, page sheaths and 1/2, which would take it up to 168. We're going for 11 sheaths at the full, which is 176. Okay, but spiral printing doesn't come in the sheaths. Yeah, it actually comes in sheets, and they have to have holes in them. So we'd have to do a completely separate print run. So unless there's 1,000 of you ready to buy a spiral version on top of your normal hardback version, I really can't see it happening unless we can get some sort of print-on-demand service after the Kickstarter has ended and that sort of stuff. Angela's saying, or just take the PDF, print it, and what's going to get it spiral bound? I suppose you could. Hanoi jumped on last night. Thank you, buddy. It's called imposition. Pain in the arse to deal with. Is that something to do with the printing process? But no, I just generally don't want to lead anyone down a path thinking, you know, spiral bounds are going to be coming, because unless we can find a cheap way of doing it that doesn't involve ordering another 1,000 books, it ain't going to happen, guys. So the best we can hope for is find a print-on-demand service that'll do it. You know, but that'll be after Kickstarter. Yeah, some office stores over here will print, in the US will print spiral bound stuff for you. Generally, I mean, you've got to find one that's going to be happy to print, you know, what is a copyrighted book. you know, a PDF into a hardback book. But like I say, if we can sort it through an order on demand process, we will. Right, how far off are we? Oh, still watch that $100 short. 3 patrons. Come on, folks. Last push. Okay, right. We've got more questions. Okay. Daniel's asking, I know you've done a few snow pieces and a bit of ice recently. Have you ever done a glacier board? Long time ago, back when we were at the gaming club, we did one. We followed the, the tutorial in the old General's Compendium, I think. It was a nice board in all honesty, but I haven't done one as the terrain tutor. It is on the list though. Gary, when the Kickstarter happens, I'll comment on people's builds and stuff like that. But right now, all my focus is pushing on Kickstarter, so I'm not sort of replying to terrain questions and jumping on terrainiac comments and posts at the minute. Tanya's asking, what is your dream terrain project, Mel? I've got a few, to be truthful. I get distracted by dream projects. We've got the big castle one, yeah, which I'm really looking forward to, but the wheels are turning very slowly on that. Very slowly. But yeah, what do you call it? I think feasible dream is making my Burma board 6 foot by 20 foot table. That's the real challenge. That's the one we're going for. I mean, I've got the first 4 foot of the 20. I've just got do another 5, another 4 foot. Right, Martin the Warrior's asking, what's the point of hex terrain? Do hexes act as a method of range movement for some game systems? Yes, they do. There's quite a few games that work on movement through hexes, mate. So making the table out of hexes basically enables the rule set. So yeah, that's why, you know, hex systems exist. It's an expansion on on the old tile systems for, like, you know, Hero Quest and stuff like that, which were square. You know, hexes allowed a bit more flexibility in laying down terrain. Callistra do a brilliant range of preformed plastic hexes that are flocked. And they have like rivers, roads, hills, trenches, mountains, all on the hex pattern. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Alex. I was just asking, do you think we'll do an audio book so we can listen to you talk while we build our terrains? That's not happening, mate. No plans for that, and you know, if I'm going to be recording stuff, I'll be back into the tutorials after the book's written. So the only way you're going to get soothing tones of the book is to personally hire me to read them to you. That will be a premium service available on Patreon. Story time with Mel. Oh, my back's in bits. Right. Chris Brown is asking, I'm looking to make a 3D Hero Quest board to use on a daily basis as their techniques. Are there any techniques, or have you done something like this? Yeah, I've made a Hero Quest board. We made ours out of Hearst Arts. There will be painting and various techniques in the books that will apply to making a Hero Quest board, but a Hero Quest board is not one of the projects in the book. But if you are after a Hero Quest board, Dark Ops, they've just released something that would work very well as a Hero Quest board, as a laser cut MDF kit that you can just buy, and trust me, it isn't a Hero Quest board, but go have a look, you know what I mean. Mel, careful what you offer. Solid, how much? $2? $2 million. Okay, someone's saying they got woozy when they lost some blood today to give him blood. Yeah, that happens. Your blood pressure goes down. Eat a biscuit, drink a nice cup of tea, and just take your rest with your legs up, mate. I'm seeing the same people asking questions over and over again to try and keep going. No, that's not on. So I'm going to be wrapping this up in a minute. Yeah, okay, Tanya, I'm playing Knights Mini Super Games. How would you make an urban terrain set look comic booky? I think what you've got to do is you've got to use stylized colours and drop the weathering. When you look at comic books, everything is vibrant, yeah, or everything is very mute. But you need to have a look at the painting style. I mean, it's quite easy. The buildings are exactly the same. Just have a look at how they've done the buildings in the comic books and literally mirror that paint scheme onto your buildings. So look, if they're using vibrant colours, look what they're doing to create the shading in the corners. Yeah, look how they're doing the grime. Are they simply blacking it out, or can you actually see brown? How vivid are the colours? You know what I mean? Yeah? And I think if you just take your colour palette literally from the comic book, and you can literally look at one building in the comic book and copy that across. No, I haven't had a chance to talk about what's with Dave about the poster. Right, Steve's asking, and this is the final question. Yeah, 32 this show. Most of them from like a couple of people. You know who you are. Yeah. Counterpoint to a previous question. Have you ever had a real nightmare build? Yeah, every single one of them at some point. All builds can be a nightmare. It just depends on the pressure you apply to the build. So if you've got a deadline and it's for an important person, small jobs become a nightmare job. If it's a personal board, it's not so much of a nightmare. You know, so it's more often the situation that makes builds a nightmare build, not so much the actual terrain project. I've had problems with resins, I've had problems with glues and that sort of stuff, but like I say, assuming that, you know, I've got the time to fix it, it's never really been a nightmare because I can fix it. Yeah, it's when I've only got like, I've got to get this done for tomorrow and it's got to be done right. Yeah, and then you come in the next day and it hasn't done right. And you're like, oh, that's the nightmare builds. Right, that is all my questions. Oh. Hey Mal, on a lunch break you just gave me a shout out. Just gave you a shout on Critical Role. Hopefully they will give you a shout out today on their live stream Thursday. That would be awesome, mate. That would be absolutely awesome. Right, let's see if we did 10. Come on, have we done those last few pledges? Nope. Yeah, and we're $80 short of 2/3 for stretch. Come on, Asia. I get up bright and early for you. Oh. So, in fact, someone's just jumped off. There you go. I better shut up now before I make more people leave. Right. I think we're going to call this now. Yeah, because my throat is sore. I've done all my questions. You are keeping me here. I know which ones of you are keeping me here. I think I need a nice hot bath, to be truthful. Yeah, so, as always, guys, keep pushing. We are gaining ground, and if we keep this pace up, yeah, we'll be half a stretch goal short by the end of the campaign. Yeah, so that's a target we can achieve, but it's only going to achieve if you nip back, you go back to where you shared things on groups and add a comment, let people know how the campaign's gone, re-endorse it, rewatch or reach out to traders you're friendly with. Don't shame them into doing it. Remember, that's bad form. Yeah, and if you're posting in groups, always respect the group rules. Okay, don't spam groups. Don't blackmail traders. But if you're friendly with a trader, hit them in their DMs and just say, hey, have you seen this? We have 4 days. Yeah, and one stretch goal to catch up on. We can do it, but only if we go full for it. So, I'm going to leave you. My throat is killing. The next time I'm going to be live is tomorrow. It's going to be 7:30 p.m. UK time, which is the standard usual time for my Thursday live show. Yeah, so I'm going to see you in just over about 30 hours approximately. Yeah, I think 31. I'll be back for the Thursday show, and then we only have one more live show on American time on the Friday, yeah, before the final party on the Sunday, and we wrap this manic month up. So, one last refresh. We're $100 off what you call it, 2/3 a stretch. We are doing well. Keep sharing, folks. Just keep sharing. Right, guys, I'm going to call it. I'm going to go soothe my throat. I'm going down the shop to buy myself some lockets. So I've got 1, 2, 3 more live shows to do before this adventure ends. I need to look after my throat. I need to soak my back for definite. And I'll see you soon. All the best, yeah? Ta-ra. Thanks, guys. Thanks for making it happen.